A paintbrush is responsible for much of what comes to mind when we think of art. But just because the art form is one of the oldest creative expressions, it doesn't mean it can't be given new meaning through the unique voices of modern artists. Lalo Garcia is one such artist who offers thought-provoking ideas through the integration of his unique interpretation of cultural and sacred imagery. Hailing from Mexico, he has lived here in the San Fernando Valley since he was 13 years old, integrating his Catholic faith and his cultural roots into his artwork. His art has been displayed in museums, churches, galleries all over Southern California, including the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Angels. We'll hear about his mission as an artist, the hidden gems in his work, and we may get a sneak peek of a special project that he's working on. Well, Lalo, thank you so much for opening your house for us and allowing us to see this beautiful museum that you have. I know it's your home, but the artwork around here is simply touching and beautiful. We want to go from the beginning. Tell us in your own words, who is Lalo Garcia?
Oh boy, I think that I am one of those chosen individuals as an artist to create work for the glory of the Lord. I am blessed to be in this country, proud of my Mexican roots. I like to live a simple life.
You bring about so many emotions through your art, which we'll get to. I want to know, when did it all start? Did it start in Mexico? I know you're from Michoacan. Is that where it started, or was it when you came to the States?
My skills as an artist do come from a very early childhood, but never with any kind of vision of becoming an artist. At age 13, when my father brought us to the States, I just, as a security blanket, you might say, I kept drawing and drawing and drawing and painting. But again, never with any kind of goal or honestly, I did not even know that there was a world called the arts. It was just something that I had to do to survive the change coming from Mexico to the US.
And how would you describe your style in your work? Because I know there's a lot of abstract images that you put together.
Well, the style, I'm going to leave it out to the art historians. It has no name. What it's going to be, who knows? I just love it. I'm in love with the line work. I am in love with its simplicity. One of the details in my work is that it's faceless. We all have in our mind, in our heart, an image of certain individuals in scriptures.
Yeah.
By not giving them a face into my artwork, you can create your own image, and that complements the work. That makes it more personal, more intimate. In sacred art, symbolism is half of the piece. If you don't have the symbols, it doesn't matter how beautiful it is, it's not going to communicate the message. And the message is the most important one.
Now I understand you have a specific symbol, right, that you include in your art, which is, I'm sure, where you were leading to.
Well, it's Our Lady of Guadalupe. Is sometimes very obvious, sometimes hidden, but it's present in every single work of art that I create. At the very beginning, I was just somehow thinking, how can I give a heart to my work? And how can I represent my culture in every piece that I have? And she just came alive.
Yeah.
Because of what she represents. For me, having her be a part of every piece of work that I create is special.
You worked in designing the vestments for John Paul II, who is now a saint.
I haven't processed that yet. It was something that you never dream of.
How did they approach you about it?
At the time, I was working for a company here in LA that specialized in sacred art. There was like a call to the different companies to design the vestments. Our proposal was chosen by the Archdiocese. I was the concept artist for the company. So when that was accepted, then it was my task of creating the vestments. It was just so emotional working on his vestments. I remember right after his visit, the following summer, I went to Mexico, and the ladies in my village would hold my hands. They literally would hold my hands and they said, these hands created the vestments for a papa. So there's so many blessings that I've had that have transformed my life. And again, just felt extremely responsible into everything that I do because it reaches out to people's own faith. It touches their heart. And that I have in my mind, that I'm an instrument of God, and I need to be responsible, knowing that when it reaches that space, that permanent space, the divine hand is the one that's going to take over. That's the purpose of me creating work, so that it'll reach out public spaces where people can make it sacred. See, we say sacred art. The art is not sacred, or we say religious art. The art is not religious. The people makes it sacred.
They put their
not
faith
me.
Into the pieces.
Yes. So in order for that piece to become sacred, it needs to be out there where people can come and pray and sing and laugh and cry, leave their faith in that piece, in that space. That makes it sacred.
So how has your faith influenced your art, but also vice versa? How has your art influenced your faith?
They have complemented themselves, one with the other. During this COVID 2020, I remember here, Holy Cross Hospital, very nearby, where I designed the chapel. I had two of my friends hospitalized there, and the family reached out to me if I could bring a bigger image of Our Lady. When you come in and you see somebody literally dying and embrace something that you created that gives them that hope and gives them that strength through their faith, you can describe the feeling of doing so. So in a way, I like to think that I'm not only creating works of art, I'm creating medicine for the soul. So faith, art, faith are together.
They definitely complement each other, and we can see it in your art. And of course, to the people who are maybe interested in becoming part of this sacred art, you are an inspiration for them.
Like everything, it's a process.
Yeah.
It's a process. So all the ups and downs and all the hardships that I had to go through definitely helped me in doing what I'm doing and being serious about what I'm doing. Like they say, faith moves mountains. So for me to doing this, I'm just blessed. I'm just blessed.
Well, thank you so much, Lalo, for opening up your home to us and allowing us to see some finished pieces. But now, I want to see where your work starts. Can we see your studio?
Well, I'm happy to do so. And I'm very honored to share my space with you and everyone else. So, welcome.
Let's get started. So this is where it all starts?
This is where it all starts. Welcome and to my beautiful, intimate, personal space.
This is amazing. Thank you for opening your doors to us.
This is where the ideas come to life, where creativity happens. I'm working on a corpus, a crucifix for God in your church here in Pacoima, my neighborhood. This is the concept that I'm developing, and I have more of a final illustration on this side. My idea, my concept of what a corpus should look like, not the beautiful, smooth corpus that we constantly see. That is a body that suffers, but yet it has a very peaceful face that resembles the acceptance of his death. My mom passed this January, will be 2 years, and I was blessed to hold her face and just hold it and just see the struggle of catching a breath, her last breath. And then after the last one, the change on her face, it just was so beautiful and peaceful. And I wanted to convey that, to somehow put that peacefulness of her face into this face. Those are the experiences that I think God gives us before He puts us in a task like this.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's nobody's seen this.
Now, we did talk about a sneak peek of a mural that you're working on. Would you like to tell us about that?
Very happily. Well, this here is, it has a beautiful story of the Holy Family as carpenters. The original idea that we discussed at the time was, how can we imitate the Holy Family? This is a family that has a trade, like most families have a trade.
It's like La Morenita, you know, she appeared in Mexico with our skin color to relate to us. And how can we not relate to a family that we see in action? Like you said, that he has a trade, he's teaching the little one. Something that stands out to me are the nails. Was that intentional?
No, actually the pastor came by last week, and I had 3 elements on top here that to somehow make a relationship between Jesus and the crucifixion. And he suggested the nails, which they're not out of place. You have nails in the shop.
Yeah.
So it was his idea. They work for me within the composition of the piece.
Now, for this particular piece, I see that you actually included a face. But we talked about that as well,
Yes,
that sometimes they're faceless.
In this particular piece, the priest wanted faces and he wanted real hands. And I don't mind. I had done a communion of saints at St. Lawrence Parish, where I have 6 saints, and I included faces and hands, and they look wonderful. I mean, I'm happy about that. So if you know, the client wants, you know, he wants real face, I can do that because my proportions allow me still to do them and not look, you know, out of place.
Yeah.
I paint with water. A lot of my friends laugh at me because I don't use a lot of paint. Basically, this is my system. I have a sponge and just wet this a little bit.
Is this how you usually work on your murals?
This is basically how I done this.
Wow.
On some of these pieces, I go more opaque, but most of it is done like this. I go layer by layer, and even though you don't see much, it is a little darker. Doing opaque work, I have some paste here that I use as textures, not as watery or liquidy, and that'll give me a lot of the form that I couldn't see before. And it gives me, again, the feel of wood. So I have a lot of control in using this technique. But again, the risk is that if I go too dark, then I have to go to square one.
How many colors would you say you're working with?
In total, I'm working with 5, including the blue, and they look very ugly, look. So
That's where your talent comes in, you know?
it's funny, when you see all these colors in here, I mean, they're nothing, but if you put them in the right place.
In the right hands. If you put them in the right hands, they turned into this beautiful art.
They'll turn into that.
How do you feel when you let go of a piece that you've worked for so long?
Happy.
Happy?
Extremely happy. It needs to be there, and this is why it's being created, so that it will occupy that space in that chapel. This is a gift that needs to be in that space as soon as possible. So my deadline is this month, and it'll be there, and I hope that, you know, everybody would be happy as much as I am with the piece.
It's definitely going to touch hearts. Well, Lalo, thank you so much for your time, for showing us some of your beautiful work. Also, thank you for showing us that you can definitely integrate your faith into your art.
No, on the contrary. Thank you. It was really an honor to welcome you into my studio. Whoever views my work, I hope that they will like it, they will enjoy it, but most importantly, I hope that it will help renew their faith, and glory to God. Thank you.